Pastor Kerry Willis here, District Servant, Philadelphia District, Church of the Nazarene. I want to bring you a few words of comfort today, maybe encouragement, maybe even confidence. My wife Kim and I were talking yesterday as we were driving down the road about how many things are up in the air these days. So many things that we can't even make decisions on. And it really is kind of a hard season to be living in. At the same time, I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to pray. My mentor, James Sproul, he mailed me a book a few weeks ago on prayer. He knows I love old classic books, and it's probably 100 years old, and it's really been helping me during these days. In that book, the author talked about how we should pray about all things, not just the big things, but especially we should pray for the small things in our lives. In other words, if we don't pray about the small things, we won't have peace over the small things. And then it'll be very difficult for us to trust God with the big things. That thought has really opened up my mind in miraculous ways. I heard a few years back about a man who had taken a walk across the country from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and he was walking for a cause. And when he finished his walk, a reporter asked him, "What was the most difficult part of your long journey?" I'm sure the reporter expected to hear about the mountains that he had to cross, those big upgrades, but that was not what he really talked about. It was not even the weather, not lightning or snow or wind. The amazing thing that the man said was this: the most difficult part of my journey was the day-to-day sand in my shoes. You know, that's sort of a small thing, but if we don't get peace over the sand in our shoes, it's certainly going to take away any trust that we might have in the Lord. During these days, it's been particularly hard for pastors and leaders to navigate in the local church, no doubt. And so if you are a local church member or you attend worship at some local church, do all that you can during these days to encourage the pastor and the leaders. You know, we really don't always have the right answer. We don't know if we're doing the right things. We can only do the best we can do in the moment as we seek the Lord's heart and ask Him to give to us wisdom. And so I'm asking you today to begin to pray afresh and anew about the small things in your life. And I pray that God will give you holy shalom over those small things. And then you will be able to more accurately trust God with the big things that we really can't decide on anyway. Here's some beautiful good news. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's already been into our future, and He is now leading us to the future destination of His choosing. And I want to speak to pastors and leaders. I have put out a few words on this, but I want to say it again. It's pretty amazing to me that our God knew exactly where we would be. Yet, at the same time, He has entrusted us to be in leadership positions to lead His people onward and to lead new people into the community of faith. So let us at least take confidence in that, yes? That God must in some way believe in us. Surely we want to truly believe in Him. But it is a partnership. The kingdom is a partnership. I remember a few years back I was speaking with Dr. Stephen Manley, the evangelist, a dear friend, and he has also been a mentor in my life. And he was complimenting me for something in the local church that I was doing in leadership. And I made the kind of comment that I always make, and probably you make as well. Well, you know, it's the Lord, Brother Manley, it's not me. He stopped me in my tracks and he said, "Listen to me, Brother Kerry." He said, "We all know that you're not King Jesus. We know you're not the king. But I want you to remember this with confidence. King Jesus plus Pastor Kerry equals the kingdom. In other words, Jesus plus us is the kingdom." And so I hope that will give you some encouragement today as we are walking toward our future. We know that the best is yet to come. We may have some hard days ahead, but I believe these hard days will prove to be holy days. I pray that the local church will find unity. You know, there are many things that we can find to disagree on right now. I pray that we will lay disagreements aside, especially those disagreements that are temporary in nature. They will not matter in the long run. And I pray that we can agree on Jesus Christ, that we can agree that we need Him, and that He wants us to be His kingdom partners. And so I'm trusting you, local church and local church pastors and leaders, to continue in prayer. Let's let God give us peace in the small things, and let's truly trust Him in the big things. Shalom indeed, and just remember, Jesus cares.